Hey everybody, welcome to the Audeze live stream. We should be live. If sound's not working or something like that, let me know, but it should be. My name's Grover, as usual. We're going to play some games and do some Q&A. I've got some tech talk up, so let me know if you guys have specific questions about things. But otherwise, yeah, we're just going to jump into it. Today, I think I've got this updated. I'm going to play some Halo Master Chief Collection. And it's updating. Should be updated very soon. Ready to launch. Cool. Yeah. Let's see. It's Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. Okay. My brain's a little bit scrambled. But sign on if you're here. And hopefully things will be great. Thank you. Sorry, I know the Audeze's. Hey, how you doing, Chaotic K9? I'm going to turn the sound down a little bit and also change my sound to AES output. There we go. Now I can hear it. How are you doing, man? It's good to see you again. Oops. Oh. Gamepad for sure. Okay, sure. Ordered from your website instead of Amazon this time. Awesome. Thank you, Nakonda. I hope it works out for you. It should. I mean, obviously we have Amazon because, you know, it's handy for some people. But yeah, I hope that so sorry about that hassle. So I hope it works out for you now. I actually haven't played Halo 4, so if you guys have an opinion about which one to play, let me know, but I played Reach and 1 and 2, 3. I do like 3. 3 is a good one, but I haven't played ODST and I haven't played 4. So, ooh, wow. You are going all in, my dude. That's crazy. Those are cool headphones, by the way. Let me know what you think about them. I'm interested to get your opinion on them. They slam a ton. Really, really punchy. Very cool. Let's see. Maybe we should play a mission. I particularly like... Oh, good. Well, yeah, I'm glad. Well, we should get them delivered to you. It should be no problem. You know what I actually want to play? I want to play... from Halo 2, the Delta Halo mission. Yeah. I don't even know what's, easy, because I'm a noob. What even are these all? I'm just going to turn them all off, because I had them crash the game once. Don't know why, but gonna do it. Yeah, let me know what you think of the Abyss 1266. It's a cool headphone, really slammy, punchy bass, and super interesting sounding. So let me know what you think. I always thought this sounded kind of cool. Yeah, I should have done Birthday Grunt Skull. For some reason, last time I played this game, and I don't know why, because my computer is, like, pretty beastly. When I turned on Skulls, it was crashing a lot. So I think it was a Master Chief Collection issue and not a Grover's computer issue. Because I have a 3090 and an AMD 3900 series, like, server CPU. So, not sure what that was about. But, oh, yeah. Oh, also, we should, hold on. Let me put the, because you guys can't hear that anymore, Alright, so what we're going to do is put this on that, and then you should be able to hear the audio. Oh, no. Now it's on desktop too for some reason. That's weird. Not sure why that's happening. No, that's some horrible screeching noise. There we go.
Destruction on a galactic scale. I want all the information you've got on the first mailing. Schematics, topography, whatever. I don't care if I have the...
Sir, we gotta neutralize those turrets!
There we go. Updated graphics. Alright, what's going on? Yeah, I haven't used the KNH6. Yeah. Sorry, for some reason OBS doesn't like... It'll do this thing where it just won't... It won't output the sound until you like reselect an input. Not really sure why it happens when you first boot it up, but it's kind of annoying. Overkill probably, but look, we're playing, it's casual. I just love the soundtrack from this level so much. It's probably my favorite. All the soundtrack cues from... Oh, this is on... Oh, no. No, no, no. We need to change this to... Halo 2 Universal Reclaimer. Universal Reclaimer? No. This one. Universal Zoom and Shoot. Yeah. That's the one we want. Also, hi Gigabyte. How are you doing? Good to hear from you again. But anyways, like I was saying, this soundtrack has always been my personal favorite of the Halo soundtracks. I've always loved Halo 2. I generally tend to think that the second version of most things is always kind of the most interesting. You know, definitely the second soundtrack I thought was, it was where all the cool ideas from the first one came kind of to, they got elevated to, you know, a cool place. Like the Harry Potter second, you know, the second soundtrack is actually the one that we remember having all the themes from the first one in, right? So it's always the one where you kind of solidify in your brain the themes from a particular piece of media. And then also, it really gives... it's just a good balance between like Steve Vai's cool guitar playing and the orchestration and the pacing of it. I just really liked all of it. So it's just my thing. I'm sure the Marines are dying, very upset. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. We're just gonna blast through this level. This was before you could blow up the Phantoms, I think. Wow, this guy does not care that I'm here. It's a terrible shot for a sniper. Well, that works. Also, hold on. I can't hear myself. So, real quick.
I heard that, jackass.
1 and 2. So, why am I not hearing myself? I guess I can plug into the standby. Hold on. All right. We're back. Okay. Sorry about that. I just couldn't, for whatever reason. Well, I didn't have my OBS routed the right way. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Fun with audio setups with Grover. I should really do a thing about routing. Because everybody wants to learn routing from someone who's constantly having to futz around with their setup, right? Tons of fun. Also, as usual, if you guys have questions for me, please ask them. I would love to. I'd love to answer your questions. Oops. Game is way too loud. There we go.
Bridge ahead. They're going to try and bottle us up on this side of the gorge.
Someone asked me recently, actually, about planar magnetic versus point source.
Watch out, Chief. Wraiths on the far side.
Oh, geez. Yeah, so my setup is it's a little bit complicated because I do my own streaming and then I have to also do video stuff, and so the reason that it sometimes seems like my crap is not working, excuse my language, is that it's a multi-function setup, right? So I've got to do graphic design, I've got to do video editing, I've got to do screen recording as well as shooting stuff. So there's just a lot of things that my setup has to do. What I'm running as the centerpiece of it is an RME is an RME Fireface UFX2. No, I didn't want... For real? I didn't want... I didn't want that gun. But it's a Fireface UFX2. And so basically that plugs in my computer via USB. I can use the headamps on it because they're pretty good headamps. But they're definitely, you know, not as good as... I normally have an SPL Phonitor X. That blew up. And I have yet to fix it. So that's on standby. I'm using a shit Jotunheim at the moment as a fill-in. But basically, what I typically do is... sure, we'll do a wheel. That was the... Oh, nope. So after the UFX2, I can never remember which one it is. After the UFX2, I have it plugged into a shit Gunir DAC, and I've got a preamp with my amplifiers that go to my ATC speakers, plugged in out of that, and then I've also got a separate head amp. So my microphone, Sennheiser MKH8060, plugs into the Fireface. And generally how I have things routed is out of the AES output on the Fireface. So I use it as kind of the all-in-one control center, but I'll use my outboard DAC for my speakers or for my headphone amplification when I'm basically, you know, streaming or things like that. Need to get close enough to this thing. Ow. Can you not board this Wraith? You can't. Oh, wait. Hold on. It was there. I saw it. Excellent.
Hold here until the Pelican arrives.
There he goes. I remember how funny the
Wait for our
physics are in here. So fun. So yeah, so usually what I'm doing is I'm routing out of the AES out, there we go. And then I have OBS set up so that I've got my, ooh, did I squish that Marine? Nope, he dodged out of the way. So that I've, it just drove off the end. So usually I've got it set up so that,
Looks like a temple.
I'm going to turn the game down a little bit because it's still very loud. Maybe like 20. So I've got my setup set so that the AES output is sending to the DAC and then the head amp, and that's usually where I monitor from. And then I usually send the feed from the gameplay to one of the phone outs, and I have that set up as the OBS output. So it's basically using one of the analog outputs. So that way I can separate my audio that's coming in to OBS and have that separate from the audio that I'm talking into, so that you don't have to have I can set the game audio right lower than my talking volume, which is important usually in streaming, because if you want to turn on the game, you have the flexibility to do that now. Did they drop Warthog? I have no idea. I think they dropped a Warthog back there. It's probably quicker, but we're kind of doing like a spiffing Brit thing where we play the game wrong, or just game it out. I love that channel. Cool channel. Yes, Scorpion. Here we go. So actually, and I can show it to you if you want to see it. Right, there's a cool. So like if I was to unplug. Now my feed is being sent to the, right, my mic feed is being, mic feed is being sent to the AES output. So my mic keeps coming undone. So now I can hear myself right through the AES output, for example, but you guys are still getting the audio, right? So this actually should be set for analog 11 and 12, which is the phone's output, which doesn't have any microphone in it, but which does have game audio. So if I'm going to go back to the game audio, right, and resume, for example, that I wouldn't hear. But if I were to then say switch OBS over to analog 11 and 12, right? Now you can hear presumably whatever game audio is coming through. Which is right there, right? So if I take this off screen and then I, running, jumping, playing, doing stuff, right? So it's kind of, it takes a little while getting used to. iOS app, I don't have any information on, unfortunately. So this basically, right, this PH 11 and 12 is, you could assign any of these. It doesn't really matter which one it is. I just happened to pick that one because it was in the menu really quick there. But this one is basically determining what I'm getting. Yeah. Right, if I turn this down, you guys will stop hearing, or sorry, if I turn this down, right, I'll stop hearing the game audio. And if I turn this down on phones too, you guys should stop hearing the game audio. If I do it, I think it's set on analog 11 and 12. Yeah. So anyways, that's just a little bit about my setup. It's a little bit complicated to learn, but once you've got it down, it's pretty. Yeah, it's mostly about the flexibility of it. So and learning this mixing software. I mean, Mo2 has a mixing, software that works well as well. And it's just about the flexibility, being able to do stuff. Sometimes I have to stare at it for a second. I'm like, what the heck is connected to what? Right. But basically, because I have to assign so many different things in OBS and because I have to have it set up for different stuff, right? Like I've got 5 or 6 different setups here. Right? I've got a wait screen. I've got just a screen record. I've got a browser thing. There's a couple different ones. So I can route all this stuff within here, right? All these software playbacks are routable to OBS, and I can control the volume that's getting sent to me. So if I don't want to hear the game, I can turn it down there, obviously, right? This is my mic sent to me. And then, the mic is also getting sent to OBS as well, separately from the AES output. So it allows me to separate these different things in game audio and microphone input. So it's really handy. Like I said, a little bit maybe complicated, but really useful for doing multifaceted stuff like that. If I was just doing streaming, I would probably optimize it more specifically for just the streaming setup and reliability. For my own streaming, I use Streamlabs, and I just have it set up really straightforward so that it's just a streaming setup. I don't have to do funky routing. I always have, I usually play my keyboard, or if I'm producing, I have those set to assigned channel inputs or channel outputs. And then I have, my mic, and I always use the same monitoring setup, whether I'm doing production streams, gaming streams, anything like that. And I can just shoot up Streamlabs, boot it up, and sorry, I'm sitting on a yoga ball, so it's kind of squeaky. It's not a fart, I swear. So I can just set that up and go as quickly as possible no matter what I'm doing. This one, as I mentioned, a little more intricate just because I don't have the flexibility of being able to do that. In terms of iOS, Audeze HQ app, don't know anything about that yet. We just released the Mac app, however. So definitely would say, check that out. I would assume if the Mac app is out, that the iOS app is up next. So I don't know about that, but that's what I would assume. So hopefully we'll see that very soon, because I know you guys have been very patiently waiting for that. Got him. So the other day, actually, there's 2 things that I've gotten questions about since I was on the headphone show and a couple other places. Yeah, absolutely, Elias. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'm just going to chatter about Audeze stuff now. So, yeah. But feel free to ask any questions, and I'll answer them as soon as I see them. For some reason, I can't see how many people are in the chat on Twitch and YouTube right now. The restream chat's not working properly, but I can see your messages, so. Basically, I was asked to do, I can turn the game audio up a little bit now, actually. Maybe like a 40. That's really loud. This game has such a huge range of volume settings that it's like hard sometimes to figure out. Let's try 30. That should be good. But 2 things I got asked about were planar magnetic drivers and how they propagate wavefronts and how that's different from conventional point source dynamic drivers. And then the other thing was the bass EQ thing that I mentioned on the headphone show. So I'll address the bass EQ thing first because I think that's actually kind of interesting. Any update on separate option to change volume of Bluetooth versus in-game sound when using Penrose X? Yeah, so that feature's been requested. As far as I know, they're working on it, and there's going to be a separate, Bluetooth and wireless mode so that you can set volume levels individually. I would check on the newest updates for the Penrose app and see if the firmware integrates that yet. If it is not there yet, it should be coming soon. I know that there's some Penrose updates coming out in the next, I want to say, couple days. So stay tuned for those. Check the page regularly. And subscribe to our newsletter because that will generally be the fastest way. It'll be even faster than checking our social to get updates on exactly what is happening with Penrose development and updates. Yes, absolutely. But as far as I know, that feature is going to be implemented. It's been requested quite frequently, and is a useful, good feature to have. So, should look forward to that becoming a feature. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. That's the information I have now. But I'm almost certain that that was a feature that was discussed recently with the dev team. So, yes, keep your eyes peeled for that. Next, there's invisible grunts. Or is it just dark? I don't know how I haven't killed these Marines on this Scorpion yet. Next up, why is it better to cut treble instead of... There we go. Why is it better to cut treble instead of boosting bass? So the headroom thing that I mentioned is one of them. But there's another reason, which is that audio waveforms, as they go lower in frequency, take a lot more information to calculate because they're wider, relatively wider and more wide bandwidth. And that, because of the nature of how PCM audio works, ooh, what is that? It means that bass signals take more CPU to calculate, right? And anybody who's used a really big bass signal through like a plugin knows that like the bass signals can eat up CPU, like real heavy, big waveforms with tons of bass can eat up CPU a lot quicker than, delicate minimalist treble sounds. So bass is going to be generally punchier and more textured, right? The perceptual aspects of the bass will be better if you cut the treble rather than boosting the bass. So it's not just a headroom benefit. It's also a benefit because of the way that digital audio processes low frequency signals. This is why DSD is really accurate in the bass, because it's 1 bit and it's a very high, bandwidth switching frequency. Essentially, it means that you get very accurate bass, but DSD is much less accurate at high frequencies, where you are required to have a much higher degree of accuracy in the bit domain, but you don't necessarily need enormous bandwidth, right? You need less points in a sync interpolation system to calculate an accurate treble signal than you do for a bass signal, because it's just less straying of the waveform from the DC load line, right? It doesn't go as wide from period to period for the real nerdy people who are into that kind of stuff. That's kind of the reason why it happens. So that's one reason, cut treble instead of boosting bass, and you'll actually get a better quality and texture of bass. And this does matter. It does make it a difference in even things like the Penrose EQ and stuff like that, right? It is perceptually better. You'll get punchier bass versus, you'll get punchier bass that way. And this is great for people who produce, right? Because across a mix, a series of cuts are going to be less destructive than a series of boosts. Am I going to fall off the edge? Nope. The other thing is planar wavefronts. So planar wavefronts hit the ear differently than what weapons we have. Battle rifle, rocket launcher. I kind of want the sniper rifle, but I don't know how useful it's going to be. We can always pick it up later. You guys friends? Dude just got wrecked. Also, there was no sound on that, so that's funny. Might be because the music is turned up really loud. Game music. Oh, yeah, that's why. The music volume's set like ridiculously high. What's up with that? Do like the music, but doesn't need to be set that high. The SMG, my favorite weapon in the game, but not necessarily the best. What was that guy doing? Having a little rear end inspection. Yeah, planar wavefronts hit the ear as basically a larger, wider wavefront versus a point source, which comes from a dynamic driver, which is going to be more like a more like a point source, right? It's a narrower wavefront essentially that hits the ear with pinpoint accuracy. So perceptually, we tend to interpret point sources as sounding a bit more like narrow, precise imaging coming from a single source. And we tend to interpret planar wavefronts as sounding more wide and diffuse. Now, with headphones, because there's no crossfeed, when something sounds really precise and from a single point, emanating from a single point, it can sometimes draw our attention to the fact that we're listening to headphones more, whereas a more diffuse, wider soundstage is actually going to give us the impression of, not crossfeed necessarily, but it's going to give us the impression that there's a wider sense of space. It's going to fill in some of that center image that headphones don't do as well as speakers, right? And that is basically how Audeze headphones work. They have that wider planar wavefront that's hitting the ear. And it does make it sound wider and bigger, right? This is part of, and also the drivers in planar dynamics can be made bigger generally than a dynamic driver because of the way that the magnets are arranged and because it's Mylar film, right? It's not a big, heavy, Nikes. So that was really stupid. I shouldn't have done that. So the Audeze headphones and planar magnetic headphones in general, because they can have larger drivers, because it's Mylar, right, and some magnets on either side, takes up less space. It's going to be heavy because of the magnets, but it's not like a dynamic driver where there's a lot more space required in the ear cup with the magnet behind it and all that kind of stuff. You can have a relatively larger driver in a similar amount of, or smaller sometimes amount of space than with a traditional dynamic driver. So it's going to have better bass, flatter, a low frequency bass extension, and it's also going to mean that the soundstage is perceptually larger and more dynamic, right? More punch. So that's part of why Audezes are great, because they have that larger, more planar wavefront hitting the ear. They sound larger, they give you more of a sense of dynamics and the space that you're in. So that's a benefit of planar magnetic headphones. Certainly in headphone, any planar magnetic headphone is going to have that benefit. Now in speakers, right, there's brands like Magnepan or Martin Logan, which are technically actually electrostatics, but planar magnetic drivers, right, are great for the mid and high frequencies in a speaker, not necessarily as good for the bass frequencies because, one, they don't move as much air and pressurize the space, but two, because they are going to tend to give you something which is not as linear in the low frequencies. So, you would need an enormous panel. Are there no guns around here? There we go. So take a needler, actually. You would need an enormous panel, and it still wouldn't be as punchy as an equivalent dynamic driver, right? It's not going to fill the space, not going to pressurize the space in the same way. So when it comes to, I should have taken his sniper rifle. There we go. So when it comes to, and we're also going to need toggle crouch. When it comes to a planar magnetic driver in a speaker, there's actually some very compelling reasons for using a point source, right? Point source is going to give you that sharper sense of imaging. It's not going to be as wide and diffuse. Some people like that sound. Personally, if I'm listening to speakers, I like to hear things kind of real pinpoint and accurate. So I actually prefer dynamic cone speakers in some ways. Although, I've heard high frequency planar style drivers like my speakers that I have in my living room use a ribbon tweeter, which behaves more like a planar magnetic driver than a dynamic driver in terms of pressurizing space and the dispersion pattern and all that. I want crouch toggle.
You always bring me to such nice places.
So that's kind of some background on planar magnetic tech in speakers versus headphones. Obviously, in headphones, it's quite useful to have planar magnetic drivers for this very reason, especially when it comes to pro audio, but for hi-fi as well. It has some cool benefits and advantages. And also, as it has been mentioned quite a bit, the distortion is about 1/10 of typical dynamic drivers in a, yeah, sure, whatever. We'll take a battle rifle. Why not? Is about 1/10 of what it is in a typical dynamic driver in an Audeze planar magnetic driver. So it will take equalization much better. It will be able to obviously show you more details inside of a mix or inside of a recording because it has that lower distortion. And there's a lot of masking artifacts which will be less prominent when you have a lower distortion system. So these are all kind of cool advantages of, I actually am going to get rid of this. You are incredibly annoying. Ooh. This is absurd. I don't know why I'm doing this. There we go. Perfect use of ammo. Very sustainable. Very eco-friendly. Super green. Elon Musk approves. Oh, hello. The low distortion, obviously great just to have low distortion, but also helps with, like I said, like relating to masking artifacts, relating to equalization and things like that. It will take a lot more before it distorts. Watch where you're going, sir. Or ma'am, or they. So yeah, that's kind of a cool benefit of planar magnetic drivers. Kind of an interesting fun fact. I got some questions about that, so I figured I would elaborate on it. If you guys have other questions, please feel free to ask. I like talking about the tech element of it. I'm not on the tech team, so if you want the right answers, officially approved, stamped, signed off, all that, this is all stuff that I have a developing understanding of, and, a physics minor, but that's not really, I'm not necessarily the most accurate source of information. I just know a little bit about some stuff. Oh, wait, well, that's what you get for not paying attention, I guess. If anyone wants to remind me where to go here, I have not played this in so long that I don't remember. This is clearly, oh, energy sword. I got myself stuck. As usual, anyone who's watched me play Overwatch knows. Looking at the chat, trying to play first-person game, and trying to talk all at the same time. Interesting skill set. Not as easy as it would seem. I don't know if it seems easy. I dropped the SMG. Meant to pick up the rocket launcher. Maybe this way. I also got lost all the time in these games. Don't know why. They're not really that hard to find your way in, but for some reason, I was always getting lost. Oh. Pistol. Yes. Yes, I want a pistol instead of the rocket launcher. Oh, yeah. Also, a lot of people have been asking about Overwatch Penrose EQ. That I am working on. I will hopefully have something for you soon. Where am I supposed to go? I don't remember. Is it this way? Yes, there we go. Okay. So there's some other cool stuff coming up as well that we'll be able to talk about related to some of that stuff. But yeah, Overwatch, Penrose EQ, working on it. If you have other games that you want to have Penrose EQs for, let me know and I will work on them.
The Covenant know we made landfall, but they don't seem to consider us a very serious threat. Boy, are they in for a big surprise.
And I will happily make EQ presets for that. Also, if any of y'all are listening on Audeze headphones at the moment, let me know. Chime in.
Watch yourself. Honor guard.
Woo. You're not so tough. Psh. Noobs. Nerds. Nerds. I forgot they turned the pea shooter, the pistol into a pea shooter in this game. Oh, and here goes the weird cutscene. Yeah, we don't care. Skip. Oh, this is not the guns I started with, but whatever. Fine. Sorry, I don't know why it's dropping frames. Please stop. Please stop dropping frames. Thank you. The joys of having a 4K monitor, sometimes a lot of content still is not optimized for 4K. So there's an issue with like sampling and things like that. I actually have to downsample the output to OBS to 1080, 1920 by 1080. Because, I mean, I have good internet, but I don't think it's gigabit quite. It's probably like in the 280 to 500 range, usually on average is what I get. I have gigabit Ethernet plugged into my computer. Like, it's capable of that, but I don't think my internet speeds are actually quite that fast. So, no streaming at 4K until that happens. But yeah, I do scale it down, which sometimes seems to cause, not issues, but the computer can handle it. It's always the software that's the issue. The world is not 4K optimized. I'm sorry.
You can join the fight anytime you want, Chief.
Master Chief's punches, like, his punches are like, they hit like a sack of wet noodles. I remember them being, you know, one punch killed just about any enemy in Halo 1. Now, he's like a little weakling. I'm stuck. Excellent. Let me out. There we go. Nuts. Gotta go back in. I always remember this level being a total maze, which is annoying. Why am I dropping so many frames? I thought there was a skull back there you could get. Apparently not. The doors, it is. If anyone's still here, sign off. Let me know. Sound off, sign off, whatever. Let me know if you're still here. Please ask questions. That's what makes this not just me sitting in a room talking to myself. Which, you know, I think most of us do normally. But, guess I could use a different gun. That beam rifle probably has more ammo in it. Graphics update definitely did some stuff for this game. Although the retro one has a kind of nostalgia to it. I remember this texture, like these rocks. That's what I always remember, is like the texture. Definitely did some cool things for this game. Got him. Got him again. Shoop. Oh, that gun's out of ammo. Tum-ty-tum. There's like no guns around here. What the heck? Sure. Perfect. There we go. I knew he was almost dead.
Cortana, the Covenant's getting nosy. I don't want to give away my position, so I'm rerouting a few stragglers back to you. I apologize. These Pelicans are all the support you're gonna get.
Could probably use
Understood,
more
ma'am.
ammo on a beam rifle. Ta-da. You can shoot him now. That's kind of cool. I guess you could shoot him in the original too. Doink. Forgot how much waiting there is in this game. A lot of modern games, cutscenes go fast. It's like stuff's happening all the time. You don't really have to figure out where to go. Level design's a lot more... I wouldn't say it's more linear, but it's more... there's a lot more map markers and stuff like that. People are very helpful with the map markers. I know the SMG's not as good, but it's more fun. At least for me. I like it. I should probably take a battle rifle. But I don't feel like it, so I'm not going to do it. Where am I going? Ah, there we are. Shotgun is best girl. Always. Shotgun, best gun. I think I gotta go tap some control thingy, maybe? Somewhere? There we go. Gondola. I was imagining whistling Italians with oars. Not exactly the kind of gondola that I'm used to, but... It's remarkable how different the sound design is in the two.
Which means it was either built this way on purpose or was created by some other cataclysmic event. I'm sorry.
Sounds just a lot more high bandwidth.
Something?
What's the matter, you mongrel? Scared? You got trouble, mate?
Oh! And that's why you always look where you're going. Look behind you. Look both ways when you cross the street, kids.
This thing's gonna get a lot worse.
Leaps right off the edge. Perfect. This is my favorite tune of the whole game. Actually, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. Oh wait, not menu music. Not game. There we go. Yeah, we'll turn it up. Maybe not all the way. Maybe like to the same amount as the effects. Still not loud enough. I want to hear it all. Here we go. Oh, whoa, whoa.
We got contact high.
Boy, heads up!
I don't know how that second jackal didn't get. I'm not using my shotgun. Silly Grover. Yeah, I think you can change ear pads on the Penrose. Oh, someone just fell down there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can change ear pads on the Penrose. So, no worries on that. I know some people were actually even swapping them out with Mobius ear pads because they liked the carbon gray color better. Totally make that jump safe, right? Also, hello, Team Corona and Nakonda. You're still here.
Ah, now I see. There's a
Oh.
submerged section that connects these towers
Whoops.
to the outlying structures. Looks like
Remember the slightly janky physics in this game. It's one of my favorite elements of it. Oh, no worries, Nakonda. I don't know how long shipping is. I would either send an email to the to the support team, support@audeze.com, or I would check the invoice that you got sent. It should, well, I don't know how it works actually because I don't work in in the shipping department, but I would reach out to them or check the information that they sent you. Because I do not know what shipping times are at the moment, unfortunately. But somebody should have some information on you, on hand about how long that'll take.
Ah, now I see. There's a submerged section that connects these towers to the outlying structures. Looks like we're going down. Unless you'd prefer to swim.
Full car coming up!
Oh, they're on the other side. I was going to throw a grenade in there. Still can. Full car. It was like 3 dudes. Yeah, let me know if you're on stream after you get them, like maybe this Friday or next week. Let me know how you like them. Hopefully they work really, really well for you. Definitely check the Audeze HQ page for the most up-to-date software. And, we also have presets for different games and stuff like that on the Penrose main page as well, down at the bottom.
Transmission from Regret's carrier to something called High Charity. It seems to be a formal apology to the prophets of truth and mercy. Apparently, Regret jumped the gun when he attacked Earth. He's asking the other prophets to forgive his premature arrival, arguing that no human presence was foretold. That explains why there were so few ships in his fleet. But it's odd a prophet would have such bad intel about his enemy's homeworld.
It's like a Willy Wonka elevator. Ah, okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I had heard that there were some shipping delays and things like that. Obviously, you know, with Corona and stuff like that, it's a bit of a, oops, it's a bit of a difficulty getting everything. Fishies. Oh, I remember this sequence. We still don't have an Overwatch EQ, but I'll make one, and we'll add it soon to the new EQ preset pack. I have a few games that have been requested that I haven't made presets for yet, but I'll work on those. So we shall have an Overwatch one before too long. I promise.
You know what? You're a sandwich short of a picnic,
You're a sandwich short of
sweetheart.
the picnic, sweetheart. I don't know if I've ever said that to a giant flying bug with a plasma pistol. Oh, I almost shot that guy. Oh. Really? Wow. Wasn't expecting him to go down in one hit. There's a leak. Oh. And invisible elites. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm excited as well. I've been looking forward to Overwatch 2 for a while now. I haven't heard much news. I didn't realize BlizzCon Online was this week. There's still a grunt back there. I think there is, but doesn't matter. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, I have some information on it. Because Overwatch is. I just love that it's relatively. Because I can wait for these guys. Only one of you? I didn't... It's nice that you can play it as kind of a more bite-sized game. Like, it can be competitive, but it doesn't take hours and hours and hours to play just one game. Like, that was my problem back when I was playing more League of Legends, is it just takes so long to play a single game that it's just not realistic to play anymore once you have a college or a job or life or any of that kind of stuff. Also, hello, Sisley, SSLY, I don't know. Penrose pack for PlayStation 5. Yeah, we can make one. Battlefield 4 and 5, sure, can do. Are there any other PlayStation exclusives you would like to see presets for? I'm not as up to date on PlayStation 5 preset or exclusives as I used to be. I don't play as much console stuff as I used to, but yeah, we can definitely make some PlayStation 5 presets. Not a problem. Sly, got it. Like Sly Cooper. The 20th. Okay, yeah, that is, what is today? Today's the 17th? Yeah, today's the 17th.
Building full of lead.
I want that one, but I can't have it, I guess. Save yourselves. Funny little grunts. Cool. Well, I'll have to tune into that and see what they announce. It would be awesome if they did announce some Overwatch 2 news. Hopefully they don't just go, do you guys not have phones? Still can't believe the shotgun, even on easy, took down a hunter in one shot from close range. That's crazy to me.
This is my last run, Chief. I'm nearly out of fuel. We secured the first tower cluster, so I'll set down there. Call when you're ready for evac.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to saddle him with a shitty plasma pistol. So I can, whoa! Alright. I definitely have stood under those before and gotten squished, so... You know. I feel like there are sniper rifles here for a reason. They're earning calls. Blizzard won't expect Overwatch 2 this year, but probably next year. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of dev stuff that got put on hold last year and this year. It is, I mean, Overwatch 1 is starting to get a little long in the tooth. But he just drops his gun. But yeah. Purchased a new Carbon XC, mostly for, also hi, Viper Neck Limpy. Carbon XC is mostly for video games. Great for clearing games such as phasers, also places you should older should not. Mr. Gaming, those close headphones. No worries. Love polenta, by the way. Super tasty. Fun to make at home too. Actually, not terribly difficult if you have a blender and don't mind getting your hands a little messy. Dude, that guy's getting his stuff pushed in. Jesus. Yeah, any of our headphones should work fantastically well as gaming headphones, obviously. You know, they're going to be, you know, low distortion, high accuracy, a great soundstage, all that kind of stuff, you know. So those benefits are there regardless of what you use them for. They're just good headphones, right? And that doesn't change. So yeah, I would say the XCs are great for gaming. I'm actually using the 2Cs at the moment. So I'm not even using a GX or Penrose. I probably should be. Oops. Bad employee. But yeah, no, the XCs work great for gaming. I know one of our artists who works at Naughty Dog and does game audio uses the XCs to do all this mixing work and all that kind of stuff for Naughty Dog games. So fantastic for gaming. And yeah, certainly no reason you can't use any of our headphones actually for gaming. Like I said, they're going to be great. Some of them just have more specialized features for game audio than others. For example, Mobius, right, has the surround sound stuff. Penrose is wireless, right, and has EQ presets and all that kind of thing. But yeah, you can absolutely use any of our headphones for video games, and it's going to be great. The phasers to me are a little less fuzzy sounding and accurate. I always thought that was super cool in this game, was you could see stuff through the viewfinder and the sniper rifle. That was like mind-blowing graphics at the time. But yeah, you know, like I said, I'm using the 2Cs. They work great. I love them. Partially also because I'm talking into a microphone. But yeah, no problems with that in my mind at all. I'm gonna swap this out, blow up this Banshee. want to see if I can stick him. .360 no scope headshot. I remember back in the day when people in lobbies would have names like, you know, Elite Sniper XXXX, no scope headshot XX, 3177XX. God, that was great. Early days of the internet. Now I sound like an old person. But yes, XC's great. Phasers, like I said, slightly less fuzzy, less diffuse, a little more focused sounding, a little more pinpoint. I like it. I also like non-phasers. Non-phasers are cool too. It's a little more diffuse, a little fuzzier, a little warmer perceptually, right? A little softer in some ways. It's cool. They're just different. I would say the phasers do a thing that I think is generally pretty cool. Oh, well, I don't know why I wasted all those bullets. And cutscene. Wow, that is some film grain. That is like really analog film grain. And somebody cranked up the saturation.
That's the largest Covenant fleet I've ever seen. The largest anyone's ever seen. Get inside the temple and kill Regret before it can stop us.
Yeah, I think the Penrose sounds great on music. Also, check out, we have a music pack of presets for Penrose. It's out at the bottom of the Penrose page. You go all the way to the bottom and look up Penrose presets. Should be right there. We have a music pack that Chris Behrens and I have created together, as well as with input from other folks at Audeze. And we think there's some cool presets in there. Definitely check them out. I like the warm preset, the gently warm preset. It's one of my favorites for music listening. So.
Watch your back.
I'll take that. Blonk. Ah, yes.
There's the target. Take him out.
Oh, jeez. Oh, brother. Sometimes the precision of this is a little off. We've gotten used to much more precise shooters in modern day. Sometimes you hit him right on with a shotgun at close range and it kills him in one hit, and sometimes it doesn't. You know what? That's okay. Just a little bit.
There are honor guards all over this place. Watch your back.
Yeah. I never had an Xbox as a kid, so I just remember playing it at my my cousin's house.
Take him out.
Ooh. Oh, geez. That was anticlimactic.
Bad news. The Phantoms are turning around. The fleet is preparing to fire on our position. We need to get out of here.
Yeah, I remember this. N64 kept in the closet. Yeah, I have. My grandmother gave me her N64 a year or two ago. I didn't take it with me when I moved to LA, but I need to grab it and crack it back open because there was some great times. Do love that console. Been playing a lot of old PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 games, like old Spyro and stuff like that. Lately, it's been nice. We'll see, like brighter with XC must be good. Yep. Too dark and the imaging is odd. Huh, that's weird. I've never heard the 1060. That's a monoprice or monolith or what? Monoprice monolith. EL8 phaser is much better at imaging with those XP pads. Yep. XC has great bass. Yes. Yeah. The folks from Naughty Dog, several of them have used Odysseys. So, 007. Yeah. I remember that. God, that was fun. That was a little before my time, but I do remember playing some of it. It was always a blast.
This is unprecedented. Unacceptable.
And I didn't know that Abe's Lorne Lanning had Odysseys, but that's pretty cool.
If you had not withdrawn off No, Holy One. I only wish to express my concern that the brute
Abe's Odyssey was a really cool game too. There was a video I saw on it recently from I don't remember who, but Lorne Lanning was talking about the fact that Abe's Odyssey is a really interesting, like filled with metaphors and interesting social commentary game. Really interesting design. He's pretty cool. He wasn't like a game designer necessarily. He was kind of more like a writer, visionary, artistic dude. But really interesting series. 20 now. Don't feel old. We're not old. Don't worry, we're not old. The currency of youth is a fallacy.
always been your protectors.
These are trying times for all of us.
Even as the humans' annihilation filled us with satisfaction.
There's so much saturation in film grain on all this. It's crazy.
Our hearts with grief.
Putting aside our sorrow,
Tons of bokeh.
we renewed our faith in the prophecy.
Real shadowy, contrasty.
And see how our faith has been rewarded.
Halo, its divine wind will rush through.
All right. It's boring cutscene. All right. Anyways, so probably going to call it quits here because I do have some other important stuff I got to do. If anyone has any questions, final questions, let me know. And I'll file them away and try and answer them next time on next stream. Thanks for... I don't remember this level. Well, anyways, thanks for everyone who tuned in. Mushrooms. Yeah, Friday, 3 p.m. is usually our other stream. Also, check back on our channel regularly. We auto-host X144, who does great mix and production tutorials. Fantastic. He's actually the guy from Naughty Dog. And he's a fantastic producer, mix engineer, and great all-around audio guy. Great knowledge base. And then we also have, Torva. It's Iron. I don't know if we're auto-hosting It's Iron, but It's Iron is an Audeze user. Great Warzone players. And then a couple others. So check back for some of our streamers. There's some of them have some pretty cool content. Anyways, that's going to be all for me. Thanks to everyone who stopped by. And yeah, we'll see you later.